Well, hello. You know, shout out. First things first. Shout out my boy, Flag Out TV. He told me, cut that bullshit out and get back here talking that shit. So here I am, talking that shit. You feel me? Or talking my shit. I think my shit be good shit, though. But, uh, ain't no script to this shit. I just freestyle. You feel me? So, you know, all that said, as my guy from, Comics Explained says, let us begin. All right. The title says, what's the name? The Super Bowl. I ain't watch the Super Bowl, man. I don't watch sports. I don't watch. I don't understand how black folks can sit here and watch something like the NFL, right? Like, understand they're currently in court again for allegedly having racist practices. Mind you, this is after Colin Kaepernick has already won his case, saying that they do as such, you know. And even if Colin Kaepernick didn't have his case, we saw that with our own eyes, right? But it boggles my mind. And I say this time and time and time again. I just don't understand, why is it black people will sit there and say, oh, I'm against racism, I'm against this, I'm against that, but will turn around and go participate and support something that has been deemed racist or having racist practices in the court of law and in the court of public opinion. That's why I didn't watch it. And I remember a time when Snoop Dogg said on the Breakfast Club, change is gonna come from the NFL and XYZ because Jay-Z has gotten involved with them and he was the responsible for the entertainment and stuff, with the NFL. My stance has always been, what power does the choir director have in a $1 billion institution? What power could the choir director possibly conceive of having? You know, that's my opinion. That is my opinion. So black people sit there and I don't do this with I'm not against racism. I stand against this. I stand against that. But will turn around and go and give their money and support and time and energy to an organization that has been deemed to be racist in the court of law, the Colin Kaepernick case. They're also under, you know, being sued for the same thing with, I believe his name is Brian Bowles or Brian Flores. You feel me? But, you know, ridiculous. Ridiculous. And then when the NFL comes around and does something very racist, like not wanting to pay out former players who have been deemed positive with the diagnosis of CTE from playing football, what will the NFL do? They're going to cut the payments and all of that. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. You can look this stuff up. I saw that on a TikTok page. I can't remember the guy's name, but follow my TikTok. Smoke has been sent to on TikTok. One word. Smoke has been sent to. But moving along. Listen, that's how I see it with black folks. You feel me? When it comes to things like the Super Bowl and the NFL, the NBA too, MLB, all of these sports organizations that black folks mainly participate in, or rather, I should say that we're the sports where we are the predominant, where we are the majority, where the sports where if you take away all the black athletes or the black players, there essentially isn't even an organization anymore. That's basketball, baseball, football. You feel me? So it's amazing. What else? What else we got going on? Um, what else isn't there to talk about? Um, let's see. Oh, Alec Baldwin. I personally think what is happening to Alec Baldwin is a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of fucking bullshit. This man is an actor. How are you going to charge him with anything? To be honest, how does Alec Baldwin get charged with anything in that case with the accident on the set? He is an actor. He is not in control of the firearms. Now, the best of my understanding, I was told that, you know, when he was given the gun, it had been checked by different people, to check that, that it was loaded with blanks. But again, who are these other people? Alec Baldwin is an actor, yet again. Y- You're expecting him to know the difference between a blank round and a live round? He's an actor. He's What's he got hit with? Manslaughter? That's some bogus shit. That's some bogus shit. That should never happen. Whoever his lawyer is, he need to fire them and hire me. Because there's no way you should have. There's no way. There's no way you should be getting hit with manslaughter. When you're an actor on a movie set and there are hired professionals trained to handle, these situations, these tools in that situation, and they fail to do their job. So that falls on you as an actor, as the actor, the person who is the last person, you're under we're under the assumption you're supposed to know what you're doing with a gun. Well, you're an actor. You've been on set before. You've handled guns before. That don't mean I know what I'm doing with these motherfuckers. I've driven cars for 30 years. Does that mean I'm a mechanic? Hey, that's just the way I see it. That's the way I see it. You know. But it is what it is, man. Let's talk about it. Yeah, this takeoff situation. Jay Prince and all of them folks, right? Listen, I'm gonna keep it 1,000. I've done. I did a video a little minute ago. But listen, Jay Prince, in my opinion, ain't making it no better for my case. No better for himself, with my opinion on the case. They call them mob ties, right? Mob ties. When you call into the South, when you go in the South, especially Texas, if you call into Jay Prince and check in, he'll make sure nobody touch you. You'll get there, do your show, get out, and everything is fine. Now I'm assuming you're gonna have to pay something because I, you know, I'm assuming you gotta pay a little fee for that, that protection. Jay Prince is the man who gets people chains back. Jay Prince will get a rapper's chain back in 10 hours. It's happened before. Jay Prince got people chains back in record time. Niggas ain't even have a chance to post with the picture because niggas got the chain back. So you mean to tell me at Jay Prince, you know what I mean, at Jay Prince Jr.'s birthday party, you mean to tell me there was a situation in which no one knew who shot who and what happened with what and who did who and man, if I'm supposed to believe mob ties is mob ties like mob ties have mob ties, then Jay Prince knew who did what and where they at and what kind of gun and everything within 30 minutes of it. And it's his son's party. Scratch 15 off that. Then 15 minutes, Jay Prince knew what was going on. And I'm supposed to believe he didn't. I'm supposed to believe he didn't. I grew up in the South. Jay Prince, to me, is essentially Suge Knight from the South. He's Suge Knight of the dirty South. That's what he is. The way I look at it. That's how I grew up. I grew up in the South. Jay Prince is the Suge Knight of the South. If we're gonna go by coast of people and shit, you know, Suge Knight. On the West Coast where he was how he was holding it down, that's how Jay Prince does it. But Jay Prince does it a lot smarter and he's been doing it a lot longer. You feel me? So I don't believe nothing that comes out of anybody in Jay Prince camp when it comes to they don't know what actually happened. I don't believe it. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Nope. Don't believe it. I don't even believe the man who is allegedly being accused of doing it actually even did it. That's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm not Nostradamus or nothing like that. Plato, Socrates, none of those. I'm just a nigga giving my opinion. You feel me? But this is not hate speech. This is my opinion on current events. I be on TikTok a lot, right? And I tend to see a lot of videos where they're like, you know what? I ain't even do that because that's gonna get me blocked. That's gonna get me banned because and I don't know how to be subtle with that subject yet. So you know what? We just gonna glance over that. We're gonna put that in another video that I don't care about on some shit like innocence. but we aren't going to do that with here. We are going to talk about, but we can talk about how the LGBT community does not take responsibility for the actions of its members. We can talk about that. That's always been a running motherfucking theme with the LGBT community. This is not hate speech. This is a fact of life. This is my opinion. You have members of the LGBT community doing things to people who are not part of that community, and sometimes to members of that community, but more so was sticking on they're doing things to members who are not part of that community, and it's fucking wrong. And the LGBT community, in my opinion, does no one speaks on those issues. Like you had a member of the LGBT community who was out here at one time made a YouTube channel, had gathered a following about exposing people, exposing down low men. Like that shit don't seem crazy to niggas. That shit don't seem crazy. Sydney Star lied on Chingy. Sydney Star lied on Chingy, lied on that man's name for fame and fortune. That's what they said. That's what Sydney Star said. And Chingy's career was ruined because it happened in a time when, you know, it wasn't, that lifestyle, particular lifestyle wasn't, how do I say it, so accepted in the world, on a worldwide scale, overall as comparison to today. Because that's the truth. That is the truth. So, whereas you have a Little Nas X, who is a member of that community in rap hip hop, he's accepted, winning albums, chart sales of millions of records, millions of streams. Back then in the early 2000, late 2000s, early 2000s, like when that happened in Chingy, that meant just having that said about you, but it meant, your career was done. And that's exactly what happened. Years later, it's in the early 2010s, like 2010s. Years later, Sydney Star comes out and says, I believe it was sometime last year, comes out and says, yeah, they lied. Nobody, I don't see Elton John coming out and saying nothing about that part, right? Like there was some TikTok or Twitter thing where, you know, a trans woman was not disclosing the fact that they were trans woman, and I've seen very little reactions from the LGBT community about that. I'm not saying everyone who is a part of that community is, silent, but because I can't speak for everybody individually, because I don't know everybody individually, I have to speak in the general sense from what I see. And from the general sense of what I see, the LGBT community does not take responsibility for members of its community who commit acts of grape. Now, if you go look up, the definition of grape, it'll tell you, it could be forceful, or it could be forceful, as in physically, or it can be mental. You can coerce someone into doing something unknown that they unknowingly are perform. That's great. Like if I meet a female, and or what I assume to be a female due to the aesthetics of what I'm looking at and what they tell me, and they're whole stop, and have been for years. If I have intercourse with that person under the assumption that this was a natural born female who is able to give birth because they have those reproductive organs from birth, and it's not because they did not tell me that, and they are actually born a biological male and cannot get pregnant because they do not have the reproductive organs associated with carrying a child for 9 months. That is great. That is great. That happens a lot. Understandably, a huge majority of it does not get spoken on because a huge chunk of men who, in my opinion, who had that happen to them, they'd much rather just keep it on the low on some shit. Like, I'm just not gonna tell nobody because you know it's that's a hard like thing to fight in battle if you were genuinely tricked and deceived. It's a hard thing to like because people gonna ask like, damn, so how you get it's natural. These are natural things. It's hard. So a lot of it doesn't get spoken on. But the situations that do get spoken on, they don't speak up on it. But like I said, I don't have no script for this, so we're freestyling, with the topics, as I smoke. This is something that I don't believe I've ever spoken on, but that irks me, or it's just funny to me. It's like this. So Michael Vick went to jail for what his cousin was doing on his property with animal cruelty and dog fighting, right? Okay. So why do we still have rodeos and bull riding and horse riding and things of that nature? Like, so Peter will come outside and throw paint on people who wear fur, right? But Peter, you ain't out there at the Bull Riders Association and none of that. These animals are literally being tortured. They're literally being tortured, put through cruel means in order to perform. I did my research, looked into it. You ever wonder why those bulls and those horses, when they hit the stall, when they come out the gate, they be bucking, right? They be, and if you go look at it, you'll notice and they always call them the bulls and there aren't females in there. Obviously, a female bull, no, a female horse could do it, but no, they don't use the female horses. Why? Because the female horse doesn't have obviously male genitalia. What's the point I'm getting at? Go look at a horse or a bull when they're bucking with someone on top of riding them or on top of it. You'll notice there's a rope tied around the hindquarters of both animals. Well, what is that rope there for? And that rope don't seem to be tied to nothing else. It's a standalone rope tied around the back. That rope is there tied around the animal's genitalia. And that's the reason why the animal is bucking so hard because it's trying to shake loose this damn thing that's wrapped around his genitalia. It's tied tight. That's why they be so mad and angry when they get out because they trying to shake this shit loose. That's cruel. Imagine if someone went a male and tied a rope around your waist and your gender and pinned it against you and just tied it tight. Imagine how you would feel. That's cruel. That is cruel. But these establishments, that establishment is predominantly palm skin color. Those who need SPF 70, right? You swing that to another sport. Basketball, football, baseball, you'll get suspended for fighting. You'll get suspended and fined for fighting during the game. There's one sport that's not like the others. Hockey, predominantly palm skin color. They get 10 minutes, they get 5 minutes, 10 minutes in the penalty box. Like the game could just start and and they could drop their gloves and start fighting. And they'll let them fight until someone gets dropped or until someone falls. Then it's over. Both players go to the penalty box. Game continues. Those players who've had a fight, he could have broke this dude's nose. He could have cracked his chin with a punch. Guess what? They're gonna get back in the game and they're gonna play. No fine, no suspension. But in basketball, you punch somebody, fine, suspension. Football, same thing. Baseball, same thing. Although in baseball, because the benches do clear, you know, but you know, if no punches are thrown and stuff like that, it's just a shoving match. They, if a punch gets thrown, dude is usually suspended and fined. But not in hockey. But let me digress. But back to the bull riding. That's cruel. They take baby animals, calves. They take like essentially this is what they are. They're taking a cow, a goat, a baby calf, or a horse or whatever, riling it up, psychological, it's mental, trauma. Even though it's an animal, still mental trauma. Riling it up in the pen. So when they, you know, open the gate, they just hold that. So it goes out. These guys ride behind a scared animal, tie it up, hop out, tie it up, and hog tie it, see who's the fastest. For entertainment. That's a scared animal, a child animal. Imagine if someone snatched up it took your 15-year-old child, male or female, and just riled them up, kept them in the room or whatever. And when they did let them out of the pen that they keeping them in or wherever they're keeping them, imagine if they just chased them down with a horse, threw a rope around their neck, and hog tied them and timed it and got prizes and awards for being the fastest at it. This is crazy. It's crazy. But these are the hypocrisies I see. Because in one world, what Mike Vick cousin did is wrong and you shouldn't be cruel to animals. But in another world, you're cruel to animals because it suits a lifestyle that has been long dead. Cowboy, there are no fuck. I understand there are modern cowboys, those who people who choose to live back like that, like they did back in the day. But even those modern cowboys use modern motherfucking technology. Go into that modern cowboy's house. I bet he got modern toilets and plumbing and water. 9 times out of 10, very few people out here in America who are cowboys who herd and stuff actually live like they really did back in the old days. You feel me? So come on. I bet they all got cars, internet, go to a modern doctor. Like, come on. But because it's a palm colored thing, nobody cares about that. Peter, none of them people folks care about that right there. But if they hear I'm fighting dogs or fighting cats or something like that, it's a problem. It's cool when they do it, but it's a problem when I do it. Like in another sense, right? How long does this is some funny shit, but how long does Abraham Lincoln or George Washington or one of these old presidents have to be dead before we can go dig them up under the sake of archaeology? Huh? I said, how long? What's the time limit on a nigga being dead and buried before I can go dig him up and say I'm an archaeologist? How long do I have to wait? There's a lot of niggas need to be dug up. A lot of people ain't gonna get that right there. But it is what it is. A lot of people ain't gonna get that. Right? Because oh, there goes the topic. Brett Favre. Brett Favre is actually out here trying to sue people for speaking on something that was publicly known due to the news broadcast, a news broadcast, right? I'm be honest. I think he's gonna win. They say it can be proven, you know, what he did with the money and with what happened with the money in Mississippi, right? It can be proven. There are no charges. But he wants to go after Shannon Sharp and Pat McAfee because they have a platform and say defamation or some shit. The caucasity of this man, the sheer caucasiness in this situation is astonishing. It's fucking astonishing that he has this much caucasity to try and sue someone after government release papers and things of that nature have been proven to show that you funds have been misdirected your way. You know, I find it strange, or it's very odd, in my opinion, that both that the last two quarterbacks you can most publicly associate with the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre, because those are the last two Packer quarterbacks who won championships with the Packers, obviously. Both of them, in my opinion, have an amount of caucasity to them that I'm under the impression that they know exactly what the fuck they're doing and they don't care. And that is the level because of the level of caucasity they have. and money and influence. And I could bring that full circle back to the Super Bowl and the NFL and why they're racist. There goes another example. Some people would like to use semantics with this situation, but cut that semantics bullshit out. Flat out. Shout out Flat Out TV. But flat the fuck out. Both Aaron Rodgers and Antonio Brown lied about their vaccine situation. Both of them. They lied. They did not tell the truth. NFL knew this. Well, they found out. Antonio Brown was fined and suspended. Aaron Rodgers was just fined, not suspended. Oh, but in this state, it was like this, and in this state, there. So Brown was in, it was this. Damn all that. When asked by the NFL, both of them lied to the NFL. So lying to the NFL gets Antonio Brown fined and suspended, and it only gets Aaron Rodgers fined. At that point, Antonio Brown had never been fined or found guilty of lying to the NFL about anything. So one can't say, "Oh, this was just a pattern of behavior," and you know it's already happened before. So naturally, next time it happens, the penalty should be. This was not. It never happened before. But people's out here watching it. I can go on for days about not watching sports. Like we've all heard the truth about Allen Iverson in the NBA. Like we watch the NBA treat Kyrie Irving like a piece of shit. We knew that man religion did not dictate him participating in what was going around. It was well known what that man religion was. Any basketball fan of the NBA worldwide who's truly a basketball fan and know who Kyrie Irving is, no, that man religion should have got him exempt. Nope, can't play. Because New York, you have to have had at that time you had to have partaken in what was going on. You had to have participated. You're not with it. You had black people, famous black people, Stephen A. Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley, calling this man out his name for a personal reason, backed by his religious belief. We watch this shit. People still look at Shaq the same, still looking at Stephen A. Smith the same, still looking at Charles Barkley the same. Like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar told him, take the shot. Magic Johnson said, Magic Johnson, Magic John. Magic Johnson had the nerve to say something about it. Boy, if you don't sit your ass down, you put your wife at risk because you got that thing. And you got the nerve to talk about what? What? You couldn't even do it yourself on your own. And you, what? You owed it to you because you would owe it to your teammates. Boy, I don't believe nothing you say. You didn't even damn your teammates because your teammates ain't gonna always be there. But your wife is always gonna be there. She's still there. Boy, we watched this though. And then what happened? When the season started looking shaky. All right, Kyrie, you can play at away games. You just can't play at home games. Okay, Kyrie Irving playing. Comes to home games. This man was not dressed in uniform. He was dressed in street clothes. He was sitting on the bench. He did not play. He was not there to play. He was just there to support the team. He got fined. He can't even be there. He just played in the game yesterday in Philly. He's not even feel me. So I can't. I personally, on some levels, no disrespect to anybody, but when it comes to certain shit, man, I can't talk to people about it if you participate in these things because how can you, if you really don't participate, if you really are against racism and systematic racism and shit like that, then I don't see the need for my participation in certain things that have been deemed to be this, or at the very least have been deemed to have these practices by the people who are most in charge. Understand? Go look up what's going on with the NFL and them paying out old players their social security and their payout benefits for the CTE doctrines and people. Go look that shit up. Go look that shit up. What the owners are talking about, what they doing. Ain't nobody getting paid. These players are dying out here. These players are broke. The pensions. Go look it up. Go look it up. Go look that type of shit up. And tell me this ain't racism. This ain't racism at its blueprint. You feel me? Come on now. What else? I'm gonna say that one for another one. I'm gonna say that one for another one. I was about to say something. I almost gave up the drop. I'm gonna say that for another video at another time. Cause that video right there gonna be a motherfucking doozy. I might break out the laptop for that one. You know what I mean? I don't know. Might break out the laptop. But what else is going on? So what else? What else can we talk about? I don't know. um, I don't know. Oh, I spoke my piece on TikTok on that Skip Bayless shit. So I ain't talking with Skip Bayless no more. That shit's old. You want to see what my opinion on that? Go to TikTok. Go to TikTok. Excuse me. But yeah, folks. That's all I can think of right now. Let me think. What else is going out here that hasn't been said already? You know, still don't fuck with Jay-Z. Oh yeah, I don't fuck with nobody who support. Yeah, I don't know if I said that or not. You performed at the Super Bowl. I don't. If you perform for the NFL, I typically don't fuck with you after that. That's my opinion. I don't fuck with Lil Boosie. Since when is it cool to promote getting your child great? Come on. Just off that alone, bro, that you said that in the live stream, you should go to jail. I don't care what no one say. I don't care. A child is a child, be it female or male. It is still a child. We all are in agreement of this. In our average everyday life, you are not going to do something on that level of nature with a child 13 years old, 14, 15. You are not. The average person, majority of people are not. There are some people out there who will. It's just a fact of life. Obviously, we have a stat for it. But there are those weirdos who will. But 89, in my opinion, 88% of people, and the other 10% obviously are the weird folks, 88% of people are not going to do anything of that nature with a child 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Hell, even 18. I'm 36. I you it's by the skin of your teeth will I be dealing with someone 18 years old. Can't even buy alcohol. I don't even drink, but you can't buy alcohol. You're too young. But that's legal. But that's still frowned upon when it's a guy and a young woman. It's not as frowned upon when it's a 37-year-old woman dealing with this young 18-year-old man. It's not looked at like that. It's how Stella got her groove back. Okay? But Boosie got on live TV, live internet, and said, hell yeah, when his son was 13, 14, at the time, son was no more than 15, and nowhere is 15 a legal age of consent to do anything of that nature. And he said, hell yeah. He had old girl take him down through there, give him some neck work, some jawbone action, right? So he knows she went and took him down through there because she took him through there. So she took him through there. That leads me to believe that woman was well over the age of 21, right? So we're gonna say she's roughly 26, right? 27. So Lil Boosie got a 26-year-old grown adult female to give his son, who was no older than 15, mouth action. That is a crime. Mind you, no one knew this. But he felt his just the need to tell the world himself that's what he did. So based upon the facts that you told on yourself about something like that, you should go to jail. Now that I know something like that, and he said way more other shit, in my opinion, if you break it down, is way more ridiculous and is very fucking scary. But he essentially just like, why would you do that? Now that I know these things about you, I can't help but look at you and think about you in a certain light and manner. Because I just can't ignore these glaring things that I know about you. You think this shit is cool. My son is 12 years old. So if he comes over there, if it was the situation where my son 12 years old, he comes spends the week at your house, some shit like that, or we, because your son is and they cool or whatever, and it's your son's birthday, and you might, my son is at risk of that. And he's 12, 13. He shouldn't be at risk. My daughter is even worse because you should go listen to you guys should go listen to what he said. If you have a daughter, you'll be like, nah, this ain't no nigga I want. Even if my daughter and his son are friends, genuine friends or some shit, after hearing that, I guarantee you, mothers and fathers will not want their daughters being friends with that man's child. Hell no, you ain't going over that man's house. Nope. I don't even like you being friends with his son, but I ain't gonna stop that. Nope. I can see each other in school, and that's it. Talk on the internet, and that's it. Cause he sound like he the type to pressure a little girl into doing something she don't want to do with his son. But we're gonna get more in depth in that on another stream. I'm gonna go find the video and share that shit. And we're gonna break that whole shit down. But moving along, talking my shit. But I'm off this. I'm gonna holler at y'all.